in Idaho. I'm near a place, a mountaintop spring called Strawberry Spring. And I'm checking out what I believe is a territorial grove. I check on it once or twice a year. It's a spot where over a 10-year period, 2 different groups of people were harassed by Bigfoot. The first person was a police officer that drove in on this dirt road. So you check it out. Except for it was covered in snow and ice and a little bit of mud, and he got stuck. And he was off duty at night, and he got stuck, and after trying to dig out for a moment, he decided to just stay in the cab of his little truck and dig out in the morning. And during the night, a Bigfoot snuck up to his truck. He sat and watched it methodically and slowly walk up next to his truck, and then it went over and sniffed where he had been urinating outside his truck, and it sniffed, peed over the top of it, and then methodically snuck off again. And then nearly 10 years later, a couple of guys out hunting, started raining, so they pulled off here, stopped close to here. Very first opportunity that they could pull the vehicle a little bit off of this dirt road, and they put a tarp underneath their vehicle and decided to camp under there. Was 2 guys and their 2 dogs. The dogs at one point went ripping off into the woods after something. And then that something roared at them and chased them back to the vehicle. And then the guys saw the silhouette of the Bigfoot stomping back and forth. They fired in its direction. And even after they fired, it slowly backed off. Now, I come and check this area, and it appears to be a territorial grove for the Bigfoot. I don't know if you've noticed since I've been walking back here, but there's all kinds of snap-offs. And I do believe the alpha males like to show how big and powerful they are by jumping up as high as they can and breaking these types of trees as high up and big around. And sometimes they're unsuccessful. Sometimes they'll fold the tree over. Now, some of these are way up there. And the reason is, in my opinion, in the wintertime when the snow's really deep, gives them a boost up. But there's a couple of dozen of these, and we find new and old back here. So I like to check around and also check for footprints, see if they've come through. And I think deer or elk have been bedding down here, if not the Sasquatch that people seem to have Bigfoot problems. Here's a good snap off, about 9 feet up. And unfortunately, sometimes snapping these trees kills them. Here's a couple right next to each other. Now these saplings they've been snapping, they have the protection of the trees around them. They got the cover from above, protection from wind, so it just doesn't seem likely that wind's doing that. Here's a fresh one. And this one did not die from the damage, but they sometimes come back and I'll snap them again. Here's one that got folded over. It didn't break. This one broke. And look, it's done it twice. It snapped the tree in a place that's about 4 inches in diameter, and then it snapped the branch down below. Here's another right here. Another one right next to it. One right here. And actually, this looks like a combination of them. This one's an older one right here closest to us. Here's an older one right behind. And part of the tree died where it snapped off, but the rest of it's living. There's one right back there. So yeah, new and old, it's as if the creature comes back here and marks its territory. Now we have discovered, and I'm pointing right at it, elderberry bushes all over up here. And elderberries are yummy. Here's some of the berries. Yeah, you can make a juice out of them and everything. So there's a food source right here that it makes this territorial grove around. And look, right behind the elderberry bush, another snap-off. So perhaps they're marking a territory. And then close by is Strawberry Spring. So there's a mountaintop spring food source. And this food source, the moose and the elk will eat these branches when there's no fruits. It's like nature's pruning. Maybe the Bigfoot does. But when the fruits are here, they're starting to ripen up. You know, they ripen up and they're available for 3-4 months. And if they don't get ate, they're available all winter long. So maybe it's an area that it likes to bring the females to, feed them, water, whatever. Another snap off. So I've counted in less than an acre over 26 of these snap-offs that have no rhyme or reason as far as weather. And these are aspens. Aspens get their leaves last and they lose them first. And that's the tree specializing in not being damaged by the weather. And look, these leaves are small so they don't catch the wind. The trees are nice and whippy. They really have a lot of give. All right, I'm gonna look around for tracks. As you can see, lots of somethings have been bedding down because I don't have evidence so far of what's been bedding down back here. I'm gonna blame it on deer and elk for now, unless I can find Bigfoot evidence, but the deer and the elk come through and that may be Bigfoot food also. And I know for a fact that they like these elderberries that are all over up here. All right, I'm gonna keep looking around for evidence. This is northwest of Bear Lake near Strawberry Springs, Idaho. Couple of what I consider Bigfoot, aggressive Bigfoot sightings. And the Bigfoot may be marking this saying, hey, this is mine, and thinks because we're humanoid shape, we should understand their snap-off language, and because we don't, maybe it gets upset. All right, keep on watching. We're gonna keep on squatching.